This should be fun. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. Hope you're well. Hope you've been keeping yourselves entertained while I've been away. I apologize for the delay in getting back to the show, but it's been a rough few days. Don't want to get into it. Let's just say I'm in pain, and if I start crying in the middle of the show, pay no attention to me. Just we'll keep moving along. Uh, we're here to talk about many things. Mostly that man, I mentioned before the first assassination attempt that they were going to kill Trump. And after this second one, I'm more convinced now than ever that they will not let this man become president. They're going to kill him. If they can't get him with lawfare, which that hasn't worked, if they can't beat him at the ballot, which doesn't seem to be happening, they're going to kill him. It's the only way to stop him. And they're being pretty blatant about it. You know what I mean? Damn it, Monkey, I was watching House. You can still watch House, just turn it off or turn it down so you can hear me over that. All right. Before the show, there was a donation from Snubberth. So technically third, remember the 2016 one where the kid rushed the stage. It's in reference to the title of Second Attempt on Trump. They're making this sound like how do I want to put this? Saying it's the second attempt is not even close to true. We talked many times, especially going back around the time of Ilhan Omar. Remember when she got a little criticism and some retard sent her a mean email? And they're like, you're going to get her killed. Do you understand the assassination attempts that she might face over this? Nobody gives a shit about Ilhan Omar. But I pointed out way, way, way back then that several people had already been arrested for making what were considered credible threats against the president of the United States, who at the time was Donald Trump. So this isn't like there's not assassins on the radar. They've been around as long as Trump has been I don't want to say a politician, because to an extent he really always has been as a businessman. But since he's been a mainstream politician, since he ran for president, since 2015. And I'm convinced more now than ever that not just is what is called the deep state. I want to be clear when I say this. I think the CIA, the NSA, and the FBI are trying to kill the president of the United States, or the former president of the United States. I think those three groups are trying to kill Donald Trump. But in connection with that, you have the Democratic Party, the news media. I want y'all to think about this. The news media for the last week has been telling us that saying Haitians might eat cats is causing violence. Okay, Haitians might eat cats and ducks. Oh my God, you're causing violence. There was a totally real bomb threat at an unspecified location. So they just, evacuated everything because somebody said Haitians might eat cats. Can you believe the amount of violence that's being spread because Haitians might eat cats? Meanwhile, these same motherfuckers are out there telling you that Donald Trump is going to end democracy, that he's going to be a dictator, and that if he doesn't win, there'll be a fucking bloodbath. None of that's going to cause violence. Now, if you said Donald Trump was going to eat a cat, then maybe it would be some violence. But no. Calling him a fascist and a Nazi and suggesting that he's a horrible racist, or flat out saying he is, saying that he's a rapist. None of this is going to cause violence. It's only if you suggest that somebody eats a cat. That's where we are with our press. That's where the fuck we are with our press. And we're supposed to just take it, because what are we going to do? Get Laura Loomer out of there, please, Lord. I mean, I was going to say something that would get me in a lot of trouble about her proximity, Trump being saved. I'm not going to not going to expound on that, but yeah, Trump just cut off Laura Loomer. She's definitely not nuts. Good morning, sweetheart. Thank you for becoming a member for month number 15. Says, good morning, monkey. Good morning, sweetie. Miles, thank you so much. Hey, Monk, this is crazy. What do Democrats think is going to happen if Trump is killed? Also, what the fuck is wrong with New Hampshire libertarians? Oh my God, those fucking retards. All right, we'll get to them. We will get to them. Because that's part of what we're going to talk about overall anyway. But we should probably bring something up on the screen so people don't just have to listen to me making these weird sounds with my mouth. This is the NBC story on this. Trump safe after suspect in apparent assassination attempt is arrested. Officials say he had an AR style rifle, actually had an AK style rifle, scope and GoPro. The incident drew bipartisan condemnation. Stop playing. With Vice President Kamala Harris saying, we all must do our part to ensure that this incident does not lead to more violence. You guys didn't cut back the rhetoric after the first attempt. What are you going to do now? You guys have upped the rhetoric. We saw you at the debate repeating lie after lie after lie, including the aforementioned bloodbath lie. You went out there and told the entire world that Donald Trump said if he doesn't win, that his followers are going to kill everybody. They're going to be a bloodbath. That's what he said. That's what he said. You didn't do shit. You guys got worse. I'm expecting after this one that your way of, calming things down is going to be to actually go out there and tell people to shoot him. Fuck. Anyhow, I just wanted to point out before we read, this is an article from way earlier in the day. I did that on purpose. I don't know if this one names the guy. His name is Ryan Roosh or Douche or something like that. He might not be named in this, but I wanted to get one from very early on because it's more amusing to me that way because it's our press. But I want you to see how many people were needed to write this article. There's Jake, Jonathan, Tom, Kelly, Chloe, Alexandra, and Megan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people to write this goddamn thing. Thank you, Caldrick. I can't believe that Trump hired a mentally ill leftist loner to stage an assassination attempt twice. That's wild. I guess he just really wants the attention. Ignore the fact that staging a shooting once is super difficult and dangerous, let alone twice. Yeah, I saw some people. Yeah, this is just another fake attempt. There's nothing you can say to people like that. They're just retarded. A man is in custody after shots were fired Sunday in what the FBI is calling an apparent attempted assassination of Donald Trump at his golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. That's as much as I really wanted to read of this article. If anybody doesn't know, the Secret Service apparently saw a gun poking through the fence, fired at whoever was doing it. The guy took off running, which made some people think it was Tim Walz because combat started and they ran. I stole that joke from Twitter. It's not mine. They chase him down and catch him on the freeway a few minutes later, and yeah, he's gonna get Epsteined or Oswalded, whichever one you want to go. This is an entire aside. For reasons that would take a long time to explain, I was looking up Janie Lane today. Do you guys know who Janie Lane is? He was the lead singer of Warrant. And I did not know this about him. Did you know his real name was John Kennedy Oswald? His parents named him John Kennedy Oswald. That's either the funniest thing I've ever heard or the most disrespectful, and I can't decide which. Anyhow, I wanted to point out the wording on this. This is a man is in custody after shots were fired in what the FBI is calling an apparent attempted assassination. Apparent is not in quotes. Attempted assassination is. So this is the press putting out the idea that maybe the way this should read is what the FBI is calling an assassination attempt, because that's what they're calling it. They're not calling it an apparent assassination attempt, or that part would have been in quotes too. This is putting out the idea that, I mean, it could be something else. It's an apparent attack. Well, what the fuck else was it? The dude's lining up to take a shot at Trump. Do you think he just wanted to see if he could dodge another bullet? He was testing his sixth sense. And this literally, it was their wording. The FBI's wording is, and you don't have to put it in, you don't even have to put that in quotes. I mean, putting it in quotes is nice because then we know that came directly from the FBI. But you fucking assholes are like, in an apparent assassination. And I cannot tell you how many fucking articles I read that said apparent assassination attempt. This isn't a thing of an alleged assassination. They're reporting what the FBI is calling it. You don't have to throw that in there. But hey, could have been something else. The guy could have been bird hunting. God, Rady, thank you so much for the donation with no message. I appreciate it, my friend. It was a love assassination attempt. Yeah. I don't know why you need to do this. Well, I do because, they're trying to kill the president. It's really not a good look. But especially another one coming so quickly. It was swamp gas, Monkey. Thank you again, Godray. I appreciate it. Maybe that's what it was. It was just some swamp gas. The dude was caught with the AK-47. I saw somebody say, you can't get an AK-47 unless you're in the Russian military or the Chinese military. I forget what it was. You can get an AK-47. There is a civilian model of the AK-47. I don't know if that's what he was carrying, but be careful listening to anybody making definitive statements like that, because most of the definitive statements I've seen are really just wrong. That's like naming your child Abraham Lincoln Booth. I know, right? Faithless says, I have one. Eagle says, my son has one. Jack has, if not has had one at one point. It's his favorite rifle. Retro, thank you for becoming speaking of the devil. Retro, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for being a member, dude. Definitely look like a Florida man. Thank you for becoming a member for month number 15, my friend. I appreciate it. Jack, I was just talking about you. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I sort of took a little old man nap right there for 3 hours. I was like, I hope Monkey starts up a stream. I fell asleep.
I was on my way to bed when I remember I'd almost passed out in this chair, and like, oh shit, I promised I would do a show tonight. So here we are.
Oh yeah. Hi everybody.
We're
quality
talking
entertainment right here.
Indeed. We're talking about the media portrayal so far of this.
Ugh.
Did you see Lester Holt? Oh.
No, that guy's kind of a douche though. Well, is it NBC News that called it a Gulf incident?
Did they? I didn't see.
Oh my god, yeah, I saw the headline. Somebody had tweeted it out. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. Golf incident makes it sound like you lost a golf club.
Right? Well, speaking of bad reporting from NBC, because that article we were just reading was from them, this is Lester Holt.
Today's apparent assassination.
Okay, that white woman wasn't. This is. Sorry. I should be more clear. But anyway.
His apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio.
Hey, the president was almost shot, but he's out there making baseless claims about all the shit going on in Ohio.
All the stuff that's actually going on in Ohio.
That's where they went with their coverage.
I mean, is anyone surprised by that? Because I'm really not.
I can't tell you the number of people that I've seen, and many of them in the press, were like, this is because of Donald Trump's rhetoric. It's Donald Trump's rhetoric that caused this. It's Donald Trump's violent rhetoric that did this.
Except it's not.
Except it's not. It's not. Remember, their version of violent rhetoric is literally Haitians might be eating cats. That's their violent rhetoric. I saw one person who tried to both sides this shit. You know what? I think I even brought that tweet up for this. Hang on, let me get that off the screen. Where's both sides, boy? No. Yeah, there we go. It's this guy. We have several screenshots to look at from Twitter today, because goddamn, if you call someone Hitler over and over again, or tell folks to fight like hell, or you won't have a country, or you are signaling to the craziest partisans to start a civil war. Yeah, fight like hell is definitely the same as calling someone Hitler. 100%. The fact that it's been used in political rhetoric for decades without incident. No. Trump said fight like hell on January 6th, though. God damn it, he's helped bring this very state into being, Jack.
Yeah, when somebody says fight like hell, they obviously mean, slaughter all your neighbors.
I don't know.
That's the only interpretation possible.
Let's see. He is the host of the world's most important conversation, Twist Startups, the All In Pod, and Liquidity Pod. I don't know who he is, but he's a fucking retard.
Yeah, it all sounds kind of made up.
He goes on to say that's why they've tried to kill Trump twice, and that's why they rioted and brought long guns to the hotels around the Capitol on January 6th.
Oh, fuck off.
This is a both sides problem, and the only people who will say it's not both sides are the lunatics on the fringes. Jason, I say this from the bottom of my heart. Suck my entire cock from base to tip and back again.
Oh, you fringe maniac. You're so fringe, monkey. Look at you, so fringy.
When the guy took a shot at Trump and the guy today, neither one of them left their guns at a hotel room and just yelled a little bit at Trump.
Yeah, they were like, you're a meanie pants, Mr. Trump.
They actually brought the guns, and I still haven't figured out if the guy today fired or not, or if the Secret Service got the shots off and prevented it.
There's kind of mixed accounts of that.
Yeah, we'll find out more in the days to come. But the first guy we know got off at least 3 shots, probably closer to 5. It's not the same thing. And this completely ignores things like the Scalise shooting. Oh no, it's because you said fight like hell. That led, you know what led to January 6th? We've talked about this. It was the permissive bullshit that happened all summer long with rioters being cheered on and a bunch of fucking ignorant Republicans thinking that they could get away with the same fucking behavior.
And the feds.
Literally, people are like, they get to act like that, so we should do the same thing. And we're like, no, stop doing that. But that's what did it. It wasn't, I was totally peaceful until Donald Trump said fight like hell. I wasn't going to do anything wrong until he said fight like hell. And
I, for one, had my dog whistling ears on, and that's kind of what I heard, too.
Take this rhetoric at what it's saying. This motherfucker's literally saying that somebody heard Donald Trump say fight like hell, so they moved a podium 100 yards.
Oh, man. The violence behind that, though. That podium did not want to go that 100 yards.
This is fucking retarded. And I am so tired of the left being given a fucking pass for their violent shit. If Donald Trump said the kind of shit that the left wing says, and people are like, he's inciting people to violence. I'd almost agree with him. Because again, even if somebody tells you to go kill somebody, that's your decision. But we do know there's loons out there, Jack.
Yeah, they're on the $2 coin in Canada.
They're literally telling people Donald Trump is going to destroy this country. He's going to end democracy.
He is an existential threat.
An existential threat. That is the actual wording what Kamala used, right?
Yes. And Joe Biden and several other prominent Democrats.
Do y'all know what existential threat means? It doesn't mean mild threat that needs to be ignored or that you can vote out next time. Anyhow.
Real quickly. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Going off what I've seen in movies, the shooter was probably driven to murder because he's ugly. Although based on the photos, he apparently hasn't burned his nipples off. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. By the way, fun fact, Trump has as many assassination attempts as Kamala's had interviews.
True.
Yeah, or primaries.
And still didn't dodge as much as she did.
Yeah, that dude could dodge a weave, apparently, but man, Kamala, she's
this on your screen right now is Rachel Vindman, the wife of Alexander Vindman. You remember him, the Ukrainian spy who worked for our government and tried to get Trump in trouble by working with Democrats to lie on official paperwork and never get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
You remember Alexander, right? No ears were harmed. Carry on with your Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Ha ha
ha. So funny. You know, that's really repulsive to the people that actually got shot at Trump's rally. Not just Trump, but the innocent people, the fireman that died and the other guy that was put in critical condition whose status I've never heard since.
It is amazing to me that so many of them, especially with the it was fake, it was all fake. A dude died, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's a horrible way to die. No sympathy whatsoever. But no, Alex Jones is the bad guy for saying crisis actors and shit like that. But when they do it, it's okay. And okay, no, Mug, I wasn't here for the start of the show, but did you show a picture of this guy?
No, I wasn't planning to.
Okay, because he looks like discount Keith Morrison, the Dateline NBC host. Now you look at this dude and you're like, this guy looks like a crazy lefty.
I mean, we can bring up his picture. I think he looks like a Doctor Who doctor.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I just don't know them well enough to know which one.
I would say he looks like a melting Eric Roberts.
I could see that as well. I mean, he also looks like he could be Bill Nye's retarded son.
Slightly. Well, yeah. So you could have just said son.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to stress the retarded part.
That's fair.
Anyway, we're not looking at Rachel so much for Rachel here because this is just stupid. It was the response. So Chris here says her husband, a candidate for Virginia 7, should be condemned. It's not actually her husband who's for Virginia 7. That's his brother, his twin Ukrainian spy brother. But Alexander says this. The guy goes on, should condemn immediately. And Alexander says, I condemn you. I condemn your lack of integrity, your attacks on immigrants, your desecration of Arlington National Cemetery. Your candidate, real Donald Trump, has incited political violence for a decade. For a decade, Jack.
A decade. Oh, political violence with peacefully protest.
A decade ago, Donald Trump was wrapping up The Apprentice.
Well, he was doing so violently.
Where are we? He could reduce the temperature of this election cycle, but you MAGA thrive on bullying. Fact is, you're all weak. Hey, Alex, I am a cripple old man, and I will beat the fuck out of you in a ring if you want to do it. You tubby piece of shit. You Ukrainian spy who should be shot for being a traitor or at the very least deported back to your country of origin. It's amazing that people like him made it up through our government, as the CIA was undermining Ukraine and putting in people like Zelensky. Suddenly, this Ukrainian-born piece of shit who just happens to drop dime on Trump over something that wasn't a crime. It's weird. Weird.
Yeah, it's weird how somebody can have that much influence.
Anyhow.
Real quickly. Thank you, Keldrick. Trump, if he were 2% funnier, look at this. If I were Kamala, I'd hire the best assassin. I'd use the best. No one would be better assassin than me. But Kamala, her assassins are not so good. She isn't hiring her best. Maybe she should ask Hillary.
Yeah, Hillary has much better ones. Don't tempt her, though, because she might. Or Obama. We don't know what happened with his chef.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think your odds are that this guy isn't going to survive the night? There's a camera malfunction.
Dude, I already said that dude's going to get rubied. I don't know who Ruby's going to be in this case or if they're going to turn off the cameras like they did with Epstein. But they're going to find him. I'm using air quotes. You guys can't see it, but hanging in his cell.
Yeah, I totally agree.
This dude ain't making it to trial.
No way.
He'll accidentally get a hold of some Demerol and swallow a whole bunch of it. And they'll be like, we don't know where he got it from.
The mystery.
Okay. One more, then we'll bring up the guy. I just wanted to bring this one up. I hate this woman. I don't even think I follow her, but some other retard said something and it led me down a rabbit hole, and I was back to JoJo from Jers. I hate this woman. So JD Vance put out a tweet saying, I'm glad President Trump is safe. I spoke with him before the news was public, and he was amazing. He was amazingly in good spirits. Still much we don't know. I'll be hugging my kids extra tight tonight and saying a prayer of gratitude. And Joe answered thusly, the families of the children who have been murdered in the school shootings JD Vance says we have to live with won't be able to hug their kids extra tight tonight.
Oh, fuck off.
One, that assumes that they only had one kid. I'm just,
Yeah.
I hate to get too logical, but the other thing is that's not what JD Vance said. It's not what he said.
But that's what he meant, right?
It's not.
Oh.
What he said we have to live with right now is people shooting up schools to get media attention for themselves. That's what he said. And he didn't say we had to live with it. He said it's an unfortunate part of life. And it just occurred to me, hey, Donald Trump, it's his rhetoric. It's his that fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's what causes all the violence. And here you have a lefty using the attempted assassination of Donald Trump to push lies about JD Vance being okay with kids getting murdered. I don't even know how to deal with that level of stupid.
Well, I mean, look,
I am
the smartest people.
I am the stupid whisperer. You bring a stupid person to me and I can talk to him because I have a way with stupid people. Mostly I make them cry and block me, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, you kind of do that. Like after a while, they're just like, hey, you're a meanie, and then they run away.
Dude, this one chick, sorry, this is totally off topic. I don't even remember how it started. Oh, it was something else we'll see later. But I called somebody dumb and she took offense at it for some reason. And I said to her, you need an orgasm. She responded to that tweet like 5 different times, with 2 of them being 5 hours later. That's how upset she was at the tweet. because I suggested she needed to have an orgasm.
I mean, you weren't wrong.
And she, at one point, she's like, the idea that women just need to have some sex is 60s psychological bullshit, male patriarchy. Like, I didn't tell you to have sex, bitch. I said have an orgasm. Maybe Jocelyn Elders had a point.
Yeah.
You stated the obvious. I did not. She basically, over the course of those, admitted that, yeah, she doesn't have orgasms. I was just making a cheap joke. It was a throwaway joke.
Oh, it got under her skin pretty bad, apparently.
Like, damn, baby, you probably should rub one out. Just double click your mouse, you'll be fine. Anyway, and usually 99%. Look, if I'm arguing with lefties, chances are they need an orgasm. Have you seen these people? The only lefties that are having orgasms are the male feminists who are raping people. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And thankfully, as many as there are, there's not that many of those people. So, man, I'm just trying to get completely kicked off the platform tonight. Yes, I really do think all male feminists are rapists. That's not a joke.
I mean, there's kind of like evidence to support your stance. So
there is far more evidence that they're rapists than there is that they're not. I mean, the only time that we know of male feminists not raping women is when they kill them.
Well, I mean, sometimes they do it after they kill them.
Yeah, I mean, they're weirdos, so, but they respect the women's, man.
Yeah, sometimes they just jerk off on the corpse too, which I kind of count that.
Oh God! Oh, we were gonna pull up a picture of this asshole. I know I have it on my timeline. Man, Ryan Ruth. I don't give a fuck what his name is. He's a crazy lefty who donated to Act Blue. Does that sound familiar?
I'm seeing a connection, but we're not supposed to see that because I'm not sad.
This is Ryan Ruth. I don't know the date on this picture, but he was in DC. He has helped to bring basically mercenaries into Ukraine. See why Vindman was so upset, right?
Yeah.
He's bringing illegal mercenaries into Ukraine by his wording, by getting illegal fake, I guess they're fake, so they're illegal anyway, Pakistani visas.
Yeah,
Why?
Supposedly people from Afghanistan.
Yeah, he was
like allies or something.
He wanted to use the Afghans who were on our side to go fight with illegal visas in Ukraine. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but our government keeps a pretty close track on folks who do shit like, publicly announce that they're going to be moving mercenaries from Afghanistan into Ukraine with fake passports. Does anybody believe this guy? I mean, this is him in DC and Kiev to provide soldiers for the war effort. He's right in front of the Capitol. You see that building in the background there, guys? This motherfucker is in DC to provide soldiers for the war effort.
I wonder which government officials he met with.
That'd be nice to know, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
His entire background screams CIA operative. Yes, it does. 100%.
Yeah, or CIA patsy. I mean, look, we're starting to see a disturbing trend because this guy's had a lot of social media that was like different messaging apps. And then we found out later on that that Crook kid had that as well. Well, who are these people talking to on some of these apps? Because what uses a lot of these secretive apps? The feds.
The feds, yeah, and we know they do. We know this from different hearings that set it in. We're like, oh yeah, we were using that, but we stopped because we realized that was illegal. Sure, you did.
Yeah, sure. You totally stopped talking about it.
The Afghans who were on our side all rounded up after you left, and the Taliban all their information and left them there to rot. I don't know how many of our people or our allies that were there with us in Afghanistan made it, but you guys don't seriously think we weren't working with the Taliban too, do you? That that was kind of a payoff there at the end. Jack,
Monkey?
if I told you I needed a fake passport from Pakistan, would you know where to go to get that?
No fucking clue. But you know who would? CIA.
CIA? Yeah. Totally nothing to see here. This guy's totally not an agent. And Jackoff Rubioff is totally not going to kill him on a perp walk. Just saying.
Did you read any of the excerpts from his book?
Oh, God, yes.
God, that was painful. Let me give you a more updated picture of this guy, because the one you've got. But,
do you have the one where he's taking his shirt off?
Actually, that is, I believe, right next to. Oh yeah. Looks like the mechanic with shit. What's his name? The guy that played Batman.
Yeah.
Christian Bale. That's the name.
Yeah.
You can't expect me to remember things at 5 a.m, you guys.
I don't expect you to remember things at 5 p.m. So just so you know. CIA contractor rather than actual operative. I could see the argument that he's just a contractor. Either way, this motherfucker was working with the CIA.
Yeah, he's some kind of asset.
And that's why I told y'all that this motherfucker, yeah, he's a CIA operative. All right. This is him as he's being arrested. Why are they? I've worn pink shirts from time to time, but I hope I didn't look this gay.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a salmon color that he's. I don't know. It's pretty gay.
See, maybe that's what it is. If you wear salmon, it looks gay. I wear pink, which doesn't. Or maybe it's because I'm not, weirdy lefty. This guy supposedly voted for Trump in 2016, and according to at least parts of his book, he turned on Trump because Trump ended the Iran deal and said that Iran has his permission to assassinate both Trump and him for his mistake in voting for Trump.
What now?
That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in his book. You didn't see those excerpts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh. I
read it, but it still throws me that somebody would say something that fucking asinine. It sounds like a slight variation on what Robin DiAngelo was saying about how, we should all be punished for our racial, secret racial animuses.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but since it came up, where's the Time magazine article on this? Because that's what I read parts of the book. Oh. That's odd. I just read this not long ago, and I can't find it now.
And it's gone.
Their story, it actually says, the political affiliation of this guy is not known. Sure, he was just cheering for Biden. Even if you don't think he's a lefty, he's clearly a never Trumper, because he was rooting for Nikki Haley or begging Nikki Haley not to drop out and to hook up with Vivek Ramaswamy to go against Trump.
Why would Vivek do that?
I don't know. How can you listen to Vivek and not be like, oh, it's like listening to Elizabeth Warren and not seeing that she stole it all from Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
And it's fine if they actually believe it. I have no problem. I believe that Elizabeth Warren is that dumb. but she clearly got her platform just strictly stolen from Bernie. And while there is a little bit more to Vivek's than Trump has, it's clearly just Trump's platform. And this guy's like, we got to stop Trump by getting Vivek elected. What? Anyway, Dangerous Spaces, thank you. The guy at Butler had a rangefinder and long-range rifle for a close shot. This guy had an AK-type weapon for a potential long-range shot. I feel like their handlers mixed up who got what equipment.
That is quite possible.
I don't know how far away from Trump this guy was.
According to what I saw on CNN, it was 500 yards.
I have trouble believing that. I have trouble because the story is that the Secret Service saw the gun.
Yeah. Well, the Secret Service may not have been that far. Not that far from where this guy was. They might have been a little bit closer. So, but again, didn't this guy get some shots off?
Well, see, that part I haven't heard definitively whether he got any shots off or not. The original reporting is that the Secret Service saw the gun and fired at it. By the way, very dangerous. Because
Florida.
The reporting didn't say they saw the shooter. They saw the gun and just started firing, which, I mean, I get it. You're protecting the former president and possible future president, but maybe that is a case where you make sure there's a shooter there and not just somebody pulling a horrible prank.
Yeah, but at least these guys are more proactive than the last group.
True. So is the Secret Service redeemed? I saw a lot of people who were like, how did this guy get? It's a golf course. Short of locking down everywhere around there, it's not a very safe place to be. He would need a whole army of Secret Service. I think the Secret Service did a fine job here, at least from what we know so far. I'm starting to question whether Trump is trying to get himself shot.
Now, I think if he had they easily could have locked this down, and the sheriff of the county came out and said, well, he's not the president, so we didn't shut the whole thing down. So I think they could have, and probably have in the past, actually secured it a lot better. But
it's
knows?
Trump's golf course. I mean, he could close it down if he wanted to.
Well, there's a street that runs real close to it that they didn't apparently do anything with.
It's a golf course. I could sneak onto a golf course, and I'm crippled and old, so I really do have a problem with Trump putting himself out there like that as much as he does, but it's his life. He's not backing down, and I get it. I do. It's not going to mean much when they get it right the next time.
Oh, it's not like they're going to stop. The leftists are stopping their rhetoric about Trump being a threat to democracy.
There's like almost no outrage from the press over this second assassination attempt.
They don't like him. They don't give a shit.
No.
There's not going to be any outrage from the left at all, except that, oh, he shouldn't have missed.
They are horrifically outraged at the idea that Haitians might eat pets. It's one of the most horrible things they've ever heard, most racist thing they've ever heard. But a second attempt on the life of Donald Trump is no big deal to them.
No, because they hate him. These are very secretly violent people that wish they could get violent. They have no problem with people getting murdered as long as it's their enemies.
Mm-hmm. And it's Trump's fault for the violent rhetoric. They won't point to any violent rhetoric, except for things like he said bloodbath.
And all the people that he inspired that went to Charlottesville on January 6th.
It's important that the press isn't outraged by this because it's just giving more loons. At this point, you guys do understand that if somebody assassinates Trump, they will become a celebrity, right? The press will make them a celebrity.
Oh, absolutely.
And
look at all the the celebrities and media people that are effectively saying Trump brought this on himself.
Yeah. And they're not going to make him a celebrity using that word the way that they do with school shooters. No, no, no. This guy will be a hero. He did. I mean, this shooter here in his dumbass book where he's talking about how he's giving the Iranians permission to shoot him, which, hey, Iranians, he gave you permission. So if you do it, you know, I wouldn't convict you. In that, he actually says that we don't have people in the United States who are willing to let natural selection take its course, or even unnatural selection.
That's not supporting violence at all.
No, and the news is we can't see the manifesto of the trans person who shot up a school full of kids, but they're repeating that shit in the news already. You know, none to see here.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you. Trump is being protected by the late Shinzo Abe. Also, if I hear a single one of my coworkers endorse the shooter a second time, I'm going to flip. Don't let them get you in trouble at work. Ignore them and move on. Tell them to go fuck themselves in the nicest way you can. But yeah. In other words,
dad likes to say, "Go forth and procreate unilaterally."
I'm not that clever. I just say go fuck yourself. Second attempt on Trump. I told you they were going to kill him.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the clock's ticking too, because if he wins the election, they are absolutely going to go bonkers. So it doesn't surprise me there was a second attempt before the election. There'll probably be a third and fourth attempt because obviously the feds are somehow behind this, either through incompetence or through actively trying to recruit these people. Maybe both.
This motherfucker stinks so much of Oswald. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, you know, Razor Fist pointed out that Joe Biden didn't step down until after the first assassination attempt failed.
That's a good point.
It's absolutely true. And we get this debate that supposedly Kamala just destroyed on. By the way, 5,000 people watched that, our coverage of that. You guys are fucking legends. Thank you so much for watching it all.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's like more than double our normal audience for a show. So thank you guys. But this debate, this supposedly she just rocked Donald Trump. Have you seen the polls? They haven't
really changed.
Mm-mm. And then they have the Taylor Swift endorsement, and at least according to the New York Post poll, people are less likely to vote for Kamala because of that.
Well, it was the more that's come out, like Kamala's friends at the head of ABC, and they are kind of saying in a roundabout way that yes, she had some access to some sample questions. I don't know. I think. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me get this, Michael. Thank you. It's pronounced Abe. Now that you say that, I do know. He's a Japanese politician that got shot by a makeshift firearm, and don't worry, it'll be HR's problem. LOL. Yeah, I remember when he got shot. That wasn't that long ago. Didn't we even watch the video on here?
I believe we did. Yeah.
Or did we just look at this? We looked at the stills because the video could get us in trouble. Either way, yeah, we did talk about that. I'm sorry, you were talking about Taylor.
No, it's just there's so much around her that is phony, and people see through that stuff, and it's starting to kind of impact people. Just how artificial and contrived she is, I think, and she's just not making the left very enthusiastic, and she is incredibly left wing. She's just not an exciting candidate. She's very, very boring.
She's a bad candidate. Real quick, thank you, Dangerous. Trump wouldn't be a target for assassination if he would just stop wearing such short skirts. I'm joking in part, but seriously, they're saying it's his fault because he's being too darn provocative. Yes. Yeah. I saw other people make the short skirt argument today, and it's an apt comparison. They cannot point to anything where he's actually incited violence. The closest they can get is fight like hell and bloodbath at talking about the economics of what will happen with the car industry. But actual violent rhetoric, there's none. He's provoking the deep state. Now that part is true. Where was that? Somebody said that they don't care or they're indifferent to Taylor Swift. Real quick, Jack wasn't saying Taylor Swift was fake. He may think that, but he was talking about Kamala at that point.
Yeah,
I had just reintroduced it as Taylor because that's what I could remember of what we had said.
Taylor Swift just makes bad life choices. So
yeah, there's a great meme going around says 90% of Taylor's songs are about picking the wrong person.
Yeah, and 0 of them about blowjobs.
Yeah, I wonder what Kamala's blowjob song will be. Anyway, I don't care about Taylor Swift. I see so many people so upset about it. I really don't care. But the poll that came out, the one from the New York Post, 6% of people said that her endorsement makes them more likely to vote for Kamala. Something like almost 20 said made them less likely, and everybody else was like, I don't care. Which is probably true for most people. Most people just don't give a shit if celebrities back somebody. The media cares about it because they think it matters.
Yeah.
But nobody really cares. The 6% of people who are more likely to vote for Kamala are probably like 12. So they can't vote for Kamala. They got to die first, really. I'm just saying. Anyhow, anything else you want to say about today's assassination attempt? Oh, God.
No, I think there's a lot of funny stuff going on here, and we're never going to find out the truth. This Patsy's totally getting Epsteined. Who we kidding?
Yeah, and since Trump isn't the president and he didn't actually get shot or killed, there's not going to be a major commission on this. No. So it's not like they'll even hide it for 75 years. It's just going to go blank.
Yeah, it's just going to get swept under the rug.
Yeah. All right. So,
have a hard time?
Just lots and lots of pain.
Oh.
It'll pass. I'm fine. I want to show you a video, Jack.
Uh-oh.
No, this one's not horrible. This is Riley Gaines. And other than the fact that she has a small face like Charlie Kirk, I actually like Riley.
Yeah, she seems nice with her creepy small face.
Yeah. Ugh. It's just weird to me how big her head is with that tiny little face. They really do look like Dick Tracy villains. You're right about that.
I know. It's creepy, isn't it?
But what she says is the important part of this. You don't have to think what she says is important, but pay attention to what she says.
Who knows their children best? That would be parents. But what our government is telling you by implementing laws and rulings just like this is that they know your children better than you do.
Morning, baby.
They don't believe that these are your kids. They believe that these are the government's kids, whether it's the state level, the local level, even at the federal level. These are all policies that you could expect to be implemented under a Harris-Walz administration.
And we talked about this on radio yesterday. Maybe two or 3 years ago, maybe a lot of the country would say to themselves, wow, I'm so glad California stood tall.
Can you tell how much pain I'm in? I'm not pausing the video.
Yeah. I was going to let it go, but since you mentioned it.
I think most of the country has had it with this, and they see the idiocy in this. So this district has to do the right thing in a state that's gone wrong, and they get slapped down.
I wish, again, our government had half the gumption that they did in standing up for parental rights, the safeguarding of children, and women's rights.
All right. So what she's talking about is the government protecting your individual rights, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
You caught all that, right? It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And nice use of the word gumption. You don't hear that Anything other than like a 1940s movie?
My mom used gumption a lot. It is really weird to hear it.
Yeah, look at all the moxie this broad has.
Keldrick, thank you. Okay, who paid your wife to twist your nipples, monkey? You can tell her to stop, you know. This is not nipples. I wish it was. That hurts so much less.
Tell her to
Thank you.
stop. She won't.
Thank you, Dangerous. Put aside Taylor Swift making a career of talking about how she sucks at making good life choices. Kamala being endorsed by people who can afford the shitty economy is not the win people think it is. It is amazing to me how they brag about all of the rich people who are backing Kamala. But anyway, so we just watched this where Riley tells us, you know, hey, the government needs to be protecting our individual rights and staying out of our fucking business. And Keith Olbermann responds, mediocre swimmer, suffering of delusions of grandeur, and future shitty parent Riley Gaines decides she's in charge of the personal decisions of all children everywhere.
Oh, fuck off, Olbermann. You fucking weirdo.
It's his argument is literally that her saying that the government should stay out of your business is her saying that she's going to control everything.
And it's probably violent somehow.
God, that guy's such a fucking retard. By the way, my response to that is one of my most responded to tweets that I didn't self-promote ever.
Nice.
This counts as a show. Go take care of you. We got a few more things to talk about before we wrap this up. Okay, what else do I have for today? There's so many things, Jack, because we haven't been here for like 6 days.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
it would have been 7 if I wasn't dumb enough to promise we'd do one today. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was on my way to bed.
To tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe because we're really poor. Because you're in so much fucking pain. Because we're broke.
Scientists say they can recreate living dinosaurs within the next 5 years.
Don't we have better shit to do than make movies?
Do you know how many scientific discoveries I see where I'm just like, but why?
Like, that's a terrible plan.
You guys do realize that any of the dinosaurs that weren't killed with an asteroid starved to death because they have to eat a lot, right?
Yeah, or they're like gators.
I know. What we need is giant murder chickens running around.
Yeah, well, apparently.
I get that some people are really fascinated with dinosaurs and stuff. I get it. Giant lizard / birds, whichever. I don't know. I wasn't there at the time. Although it does make me think if they were birds, shouldn't they have had feathers? How come you never...
Some people seem to think they did have feathers.
Yeah, but you never see somebody do a rendering of a T-Rex where he actually looks like Foghorn Leghorn, right?
That's pretty much what it would look like.
It would.
That's exactly why they don't do it.
They look scary with the reptile skin, but you throw some feathers on them, you're like, oh, I just want to pet it.
Sir, that's just a chicken. We're not scared of the big chicken.
There's so many things that we should be spending our money on. Talking about research in that regard. And I get it. There's only so many people that can research cancer or something, right?
Yeah.
But it feels to me like the ones who are trying to bring back dinosaurs could be working on something more important. Are you going to feed the world with giant dinosaurs? I've seen the movies. They always escape.
Yeah, and then go on a rampage.
You're talking about animals bigger than elephants, often with sharp claws that can swallow people whole.
I think they're hoping they escape.
What part of this sounds like a good idea?
I don't know.
Anyhow, it just bothers me what science wastes its time on, you know?
I remember the shrimp on the treadmill.
Shrimp on a treadmill, indeed. But at least that, I mean, maybe you can find some kind of practical application for.
Yeah, if we're invaded by giant shrimp.
The fuck are we gonna do? Well, you can't. You don't want fat shrimp, man.
Well, I'd like to know how fast I have to run to outrun a giant shrimp.
I just don't understand why you'd be like, hey, those things that are either really big and eat all the grass, or even bigger and eat the things that ate all the grass. We need some of those back in our lives. Aren't there other species we could bring back first?
Like the Tasmanian tiger.
Give me a saber tooth.
Yeah. Well, that was my original idea for cloning: is bring back the saber-toothed tiger, and it gets people cardio, and it will clean up the homeless population. You just unleash them.
And if they were doing this for the right reason, because there's a lot of people who think they call it fossil fuels because dinosaurs died off, got smushed, and made oil. Okay, I would give you that one, but that's not why they want to do it. They want to do it. It's actually what Ian Malcolm says in the movie, the first Jurassic Park. You spent so much time asking if you could, you never asked if you should.
Yeah.
And we have a real problem with that shit in science. I mean, it's what we saw with COVID.
Yeah. Well,
hey,
what happens when we have people with too much time on their hands and a lot of money at their disposal? Like, I'm going to write a grant for this.
Jenna, thank you, Monk. Please take care of yourself. I appreciate it. It's just a lot of pain. I'm fine. I say I'm fine, Jack. I woke up last night in the middle of my sleep session because I turned a little bit and I literally cried myself back to sleep.
Damn, dude.
It hurts a lot.
Wow. I guess so. Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. The lizard people in the secret research labs just want to bring their pets back to life. Yeah, they have mounts. I saw that cartoon years ago where they gave the dinosaurs big mounted guns and lasers. They miss petting them and going for walks and playing fetch with trees instead of sticks. My heart goes out to these poor lizard people and their fossilized pets. Yeah, I mean, I get it. The Slee Stacks miss their ponies, but I'm still not okay with it. And thank you, Evolved Potato. Have you guys seen the Chinese-style new censorship law that's being proposed in Australia? Sadly, yes. Basically, that the government doesn't want you to say anything the government doesn't want you to say would be illegal. It's so vague and widespread. You can't question anything the government does. Well, why would you want to? They know better than you.
Furry Kid says saber-toothed hamster. I would actually own one of those. And
that sounds adorable.
D-Rex says Earth creates the black goo, no dinosaurs necessary. Now you and I know that, but that's why they call them fossil fuels. And there are people that want to. We know the Earth creates it because after oil wells have gone dry, they've gone back later and like, holy shit, it's full again. Yeah, it's amazing how often that happens. Anyway, Jack, what else do I want to talk about tonight? No, don't care about that. Oh, I do want to watch this because I'm not a fan of JD Vance being Trump's pick for VP.
Yeah.
I think there were better choices, Vivek. But he's growing on me, Jack, and it's because of shit like this where he was on with Dana Bash. Oh, sorry, Dana Bash. It's Dana, right? Like Dan,
like that. That sounds better if you're like da-da-da.
It's Dana from now on. But Dana Bash here decided, or is it Bash? I've never heard if she's decided to pronounce her last name like a fucking douchebag too. But anyway. This was part of a much longer segment where she's just a complete irredeemable twat to this man. And anyway,
Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, You gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes.
I could have hugged him right there.
He's not wrong.
No.
I mean, they're being assholes. And I was actually going to bring this clip up because he's actually pretty savvy at handling the media.
He did what so many of these Republicans need to do. Stop being afraid of these twats. You don't have to be rude. He wasn't rude there at all. But he did call her out on her bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to happen. Every time these fucking assholes do this shit, call them out. I really hoped, and this is true, you can go back and see it. I really hope that the Republicans would have taken this lesson from Donald Trump. You don't need the media.
Yeah.
They're horrible. They're absolutely fucking horrible. And if you point out to the people how bad they are, I mean, it might have been short-lived because Thumbboy's back at CNN, but you can affect some change. At the very least, make them pretend again that they're not, just working for the DNC. And even there at the end, Dana knows she was wrong. Danana at the end, they're like, yes. Yeah. You're right. My bad.
Oh, thank you, Jenna, for the tip. She says, didn't want to leave you out. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, Danana here got repeatedly put in her place. There's several clips of this going around, different parts of it. But this was my favorite of them because this is how you need to deal with the press. Two things. Record it from your side at all times.
Oh, yeah.
And call them out when they're full of shit. You don't got to get mean. You don't got to be Marjorie Taylor Greene and just shout menopausal nonsense. But you can just do like he did. You let them answer questions. And in fact, you actually let them just mumble incoherently. Not in the same way that Biden mumbles incoherently.
Yeah.
Just word salad nonsense. I saw some guy today bragging about her winning the debate. And I challenged him to just tell me one question that she answered with a relevant answer. Just one.
Did they respond with, you're a maggot-hard fascist?
No, they were actually smarter than most of the idiots I deal with. They left.
Oh.
They're like, oh, yeah, never mind.
That's the smart move.
Oh, it bothers me when they leave like that, though, because I like to get up to the point where I get to make an incest joke about them, about how their parents are related.
Yeah.
I have so many different ways of calling people inbred. It's one of my hobbies.
It is kind of staggering how you do seem to keep coming up with those.
Well, you don't want to repeat yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And some of them are probably just alt accounts of the same people anyway.
All right, moving along. This got brought up earlier, so yeah, we're going to discuss this. I was honestly wondering if Karlin Boroshenko had gotten a hold of this account. The Libertarian Party of New Hampshire said anyone who murders Kamala Harris would be an American hero. She said this, or they said this, 8 to 10 hours before Donald Trump was almost assassinated?
Wow.
Yeah. As far as we can tell, they didn't get in any trouble for this. Do you remember I got a 12-hour ban the other day?
Yeah.
Did what I say even come close to this?
No, not even close.
It really did make me wonder if Karlin Boroshenko, because she's like up there, and you guys remember her? She's the fat, ugly knitter who walked away and then has just completely lost her fucking mind.
Yeah, she looks like the dude from Up.
She kind of does. If he was a fat, ugly lesbian.
Yeah, or just in drag.
But yeah, Libertarian. I don't know who's running their account. I haven't followed them in a while. Ever since their I think it was their gubernatorial race, which Carlin was running for, and they're all just lunatics. I miss the old school lunatic libertarians where they were like, we need no taxes and we need to smoke dope and bang hookers.
Yeah. Well, those were the fun ones.
Now they're like, politicians should be killed.
Yeah, they seem to have moved their platform around a little bit.
Yeah, I do not endorse this kind of content, and I pointed out that they made the Krasensteins look good.
That's impressive, though.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a hell of a feat.
the Krasensteins have spent the last several hours trying to convince people both that it's no big deal that there was an assassination attempt, and that you should still be upset because people made jokes about Paul Pelosi when he got hammered. With an actual hammer, not just one of the times he was out drunk. Chaos One, like when he caught drunk driving. Chaos One, thank you. I saw people saying that this isn't her being an ass. It was someone in media finally addressing Republican lies. She didn't have to check Kamala clearly. Also, would love to stay, but my fiance left me, so I'm kind of just wanting to sleep. Well, I'm sorry that your fiance left.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some rest. Rest up. And nobody likes hearing this, but bang someone. It'll make you feel better.
I mean, I always thought you could do better, but probably not the right time to say that.
I don't know her, so I don't know if he can or not. But this is my advice to all guys when there's been a breakup, get laid. I don't give that information to women. I don't give that advice to women, but dudes feel better getting laid. You'll find out one day.
Just don't let it get you down. It's not worth it.
No, I don't look. They were fiancés, so they were clearly in love, right? That's not just your boyfriend or girlfriend leaving. That's a little deeper.
Yeah, but you can't. Life's challenges you should not let defeat you or cripple you.
Yep.
Life's gonna hit you with some really rough shit, and as awful as it sounds, you still got to get up and put one foot in front of the other every day. Just
go,
keep moving forward. It's hard, but you can do it, and you'll get through this.
Yeah, and give it a couple weeks and then get laid. All right, where are we? Don't care about that guy. Ran into another retard, like, don't use the R slur. And they were in a wheelchair, so I thought I probably shouldn't call him retarded. So I called him a whiny little bitch instead.
Oh.
I don't care if you use the R slur. I really don't. I'm tired of everything being called a slur.
Yeah, I'm tired of people being hypersensitive pussies too.
When you and I were growing up, Jack, if somebody insulted you, you're like, hey, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah.
And somehow our generation, which was raised on that, morphed that as they were raising their own children to words are violence, never say words that offend people, or you're basically murdering them. And because of that, we've raised 2 whole generations of fucking pussies.
Yeah, they're shooting for 3, but yeah, you're right. And it's bizarre to me because I mean, I was bullied growing up, and my parents always said that, don't let words hurt you because you're gonna have a real tough time of things. So just let it go, move on with your life. And it's been very helpful advice. If I got upset every time somebody said something remotely mean to me, I'd be a blubbering mess on the floor crying in the fetal position. That is not a way to go through life.
Well, in my case, my mom, let me get this real fast. Dangerous, thank you. Kamala won the debate. Really? Can you name me one question that Kamala actually answered? Well, I grew up in a middle-class family. True. And just to clarify, Monk said knitter, YouTube. Knitter. Yes, I did. Knitter. As in knitting.
Yeah.
Did I not enunciate that one well enough?
I mean, whatever.
Jack, I'd like to fight. I've always liked to fight. And if people pissed me off when I was little, I'd hit them. And I was told sticks and stones, not because I would cry because somebody, called me a name, but because I would hit them if they did. And Mom's like, that is not the right way to deal with this. It should not hurt you if somebody calls you a name. And growing up with the name Francis, trust me, it was not the easiest time. But if I hadn't been taught that, Jack, I probably would have ended up in jail.
Yeah.
Mom uses, hey, that the names don't hurt you, to keep me from harming people for words. If only we could get back to that kind of thinking. Seriously, guys, words only hurt you if you let them. That's how words work. In fact, I can even prove that, because if somebody swears at you in another language and calls you a dog fucking camel jockey, and you don't know what the words are that they're saying, it's not going to hurt your feelings because you don't know what those words meant. But no, words are violence. You're a pussy and I hate you, and I hope your soft ass goes away. All right. So there's this I think it was this New York. Yeah, New York City has yet another scandal. This is actually from a year or so ago, but there's updates to the story. And that's why we have a brand new telling of it from the New York Post here. What happens in Disney stays in Disney. New York City educrats took own educrats, because there was more than one, took own kids to Magic Kingdom on trips meant for homeless students. Six Department of Education employees used forged permission slips to take their own kids and grandchildren to Disney World and other city-funded trips meant for homeless students. How fucked up is that?
That is incredibly fucked up. You ripped off homeless children. I mean, that's low, man.
In some cases, according to this report, they actually filled out the permission slips in the names of the homeless kids, but brought their own children in their place.
That is fucking hideous.
Yeah.
I don't even like the homeless, but geez, there's lines, man.
Linda Wilson was the I think she's the one who was at the top of this. But there are 5 others who worked under her who did it, and all of them said, but she said it was okay. You thought the city was paying for you to take your kids to Disney with the homeless kids.
Like all these people should be investigated for fraud and theft.
They have been, as far as this article tells us, there's been no real criminal punishment for it.
Oh, of course there hasn't. The government investigated itself and found no wrongdoing.
No, they found wrongdoing. They just didn't do anything about it.
That's pretty much the same thing. If nobody experiences a consequence, then it doesn't matter.
Well, the one girl, this is my favorite. She ended up losing her job over this. Jack agreed, not our Jack, her last name is Jack. Jack agreed to pay a $1,200 fine, which the COIB slashed from $3,000, the approximate cost of the trips, due to the financial hardship of losing her job.
Oh, fuck off. You deserve to lose your job for this. Anybody that did this should lose their job and be forced to pay the full amount. Fuck you. You could afford it. You know it. You lying sexist shit. Oh, but I just lost my job. It's the Menendez defense. But they're orphans. Yeah, but they killed their parents. But they're orphans.
Isn't
Oh,
Disney so expensive now that it's grand larceny? They give the
mean,
total in here somewhere, and yes, but it's not just Disney. No, that's the salary number. I should have actually just read the whole thing to you guys, but the buses alone, it's right above this picture, but this part, the buses alone for these trips were $2,700.
damn.
Duh, 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 duh. The city paid for the trips with a $300,000 federal grant from the National Center for Homeless Education, meant to give kids enrichment and incentives to improve their attendance or academics. Wilson supervised about 20 staffers who worked with students in temporary housing, defined as those living in a shelter, car, park, or abandoned building. Last year, a record 119,000 New York City students, roughly 1 in 9 kids, experienced homelessness. But this lady got to take her kids to Disney because of them, so I think it's a good thing.
It's so reprehensible. This is the kind of Tammany Hall corruption that we should never ever have. This is so easy to verify and to catch. These people should be in fucking jail.
Reached this week, Wilson flatly denied that her daughters attended trips and that she allowed staff to bring their own children. She insisted the Department of Education's checks and balances would have prevented such abuse and called the SCI probe a witch hunt.
Of course. Oh,
Her
I'm the
five
victim. No, you're not. You stole from the homeless children, you sick bastards.
her five co-conspirators have all admitted to it. There's no way you didn't realize that Miss Jack there was bringing her kid. Wilson, 63, said she wasn't terminated but retired. Ain't that some
Yeah.
shit? The bitch got to retire.
That's some more bullshit. If a government official is caught doing something illegal or highly unethical or both, they should lose their jobs and not be allowed to retire with full benefits. We see that with police misconduct a lot. Oh, you just decided to retire because the chief got drunk and ran into this guy's yard and started screaming at him. Said he was going to kill him. Oh, but we decided to let him retire with full benefits. No, fuck you.
DOE, Department of Education, would not say whether anyone was disciplined or paid restitution.
Because they don't. They don't do any of that shit. Government officials are not held to the same standard that you and I. If one of us had done this, we'd be in jail for theft and we'd have to pay massive fines.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is such two-tier bullshit.
Quote, all staff identified in this report are no longer employed by New York City Public Schools, said spokesman Jenna Lyle.
Yeah,
The SCI
but how many of them quit? How many of them retired? And none of them were fired.
The SCI decided not to refer the cases for criminal prosecution, citing the lack of available documentation, a spokesperson said.
Bullshit. Some shredder somewhere ate all that after these people got caught.
You have 5 of the 6 of them admitting it.
Yep.
That's enough. But like you said, they might have stopped it, Jack, right? Because, oh, yeah, this is horrible.
Oh, we got caught.
But they're not going to pursue it any further than that. How fucked up do you have to be to take money from homeless children?
Well, if there's no consequence, these government officials know they can get away with this stuff. There is no consequence for them doing this other than like a little bit of public humiliation when they finally get exposed. That's it. That's the most they're going to face is one news cycle worth of news.
Moving along here. Oh, God. Have you seen the rape crisis hotline thing going on in Scotland?
Oh, God, that's crazy.
So over there in Scotland, they have, this rape crisis center department, whatever. And they hired a trans woman who told rape victims that they were bigoted if they wanted single sex treatment, single sex counseling. So, in other words, if they wanted a female counselor, an actual female counselor, that was bigoted, and you really need to check your privilege at the door.
Yeah, you need to check your rape privilege.
I read this story. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah. Well, again, Europe's got the same problem we do with these government officials. They do whatever they want. I mean, this is a new nobility class. There's no consequence for any of these people.
Jenna says you've got to be kidding. I wish I was. I wish I was.
We really wish this was all a joke, but unfortunately, this is the world we live in, where insane things keep happening.
Yeah, you have a man in a dress telling a woman who got raped that she needs to be more sensitive to him.
Yeah, well, I mean, trans feelings are better than yours.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. Jack, the new movie from Matt Walsh released. I've heard good things about it, but that's coming from people who are clearly on Matt Walsh's side, so I don't know how to feel about that.
It's kind of going to fall on those lines, you know.
I did hear it's hilarious, which I can see, especially just with the wig he was wearing.
yeah, his hipster professor wig.
But I saw this one comment that really annoyed me. Dude said he went and saw it, right? And that he enjoyed it. It was good. But he had a problem with the deception.
No.
He had a problem because you should never use deception to get information, which, I mean, in a perfect world, I could kind of see that. But isn't it more important that you have to use deception to get these people to admit what they really believe? Isn't that a much bigger problem?
It is a lot more telling that they are going to go out of their way to lie to people.
And it also makes me wonder, to catch a liberal. Good reference. I'm going to bring that up.
To catch a male feminist.
Would he have that same kind of thought about catching predators like that? Like, look, I'm glad you caught the predator, but I'm a little sad that you pretended to be a little girl. You should have just actually let a little girl get raped and then arrested him.
It's kind of the mentality, isn't it?
Michael, thank you. It's worse than that. She has been openly gaslighting them while they're in these vulnerable states to support trans identity. She's also harassed her subordinates into complying with her narrative. That goes more into the Scotland thing, and you're right. I do encourage you guys to go read up on this. It's just that's the part that really jumped out at me, and since we haven't gone over it, maybe we'll do a deeper dive tomorrow or the next night on what's going on in Scotland there. But giving these women shit for not wanting his dick around them when they've just been raped is just so beyond the pale. So telling them, you need to be more sensitive to my feelings. She just got raped, dude.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about an immediate kind of response here. Anyway, yeah, fuck. Scotland, what the fuck are y'all doing?
That's a good question, isn't it?
Scotland and Ireland, man, you guys are ruining your reputations. You guys have really become pussies. I'm just going to throw it out there. Hashtag not all of you. I know there's still a lot of you that aren't, but the people running you, total pussies, man. And I realize I'm from the U.S., so I can't talk much. But I'm allowed to say it, which you guys aren't. We were talking about the Matt Walsh thing. I do want to see it. I'm not going to pay money for it. I don't know why that they did this in theaters other than to prove they could.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. It does help their media company to be able to get stuff out there. So, yeah, I mean, good on them for being able to do it. There have been some threats against theaters, so some theaters have been pulling it. But
which is totally because Donald Trump said that Haitians are eating cats, because that's the only thing that causes bomb threats.
Yes. Well, I mean, everybody loves fuzzy kitty cats.
Any day now, Scottish men will all be wearing skirts. Oh, wait. Dangerous. Let's not make too much fun of our English bastard cousins. Because we all are. We're all offsprings of them. Dangerous down there in the criminal colony, and us here in the rebellious colony, and the Canadians up there in the faggy colony.
I believe it's called Castro country.
In the homosexual colony. Yeah, we're all just offshoots of those weirdos in Britain. Anyway, I should probably go to sleep. What else do we have here? Oh, am I in my notifications or my profile? I need to be on my profile. That's where I put the stories I want to talk about, Jack. Oh, George Will came out and backed Kamala Harris, proving that he's a douchebag warmonger.
Yeah, well, all the warmongers are backing her. That's why Putin likes her.
George Will was a Reaganite. Without Reagan, nobody knows who George Will is. And this motherfucker just came out backing a commie. George Will. Jenna says who? He's not as influential as he used to be. Oh, excuse me.
Probably a good thing since he's joining the side of the commies.
Yeah, he's a columnist who writes about baseball and politics. His baseball stuff is pretty interesting, and his politics stuff has been hit or miss for me over the years, but he's now completely gone off the rails and like, we have to save democracy. Go fuck yourself, George. You're old and senile, obviously. And Ronald Reagan is spinning in his fucking grave knowing that people like you. I saw 17 former Reagan officials have supported Kamala. Are you trying to power a generator on Reagan's spinning corpse?
Apparently.
I don't even know what they're trying to suggest with that.
She's more Reagan-esque.
Let's ask her about Reagan's policies, like, cutting taxes.
Well, he did do amnesty, which she wants to do as well.
He did amnesty, but he did it with the promise of a fucking secure border that he got fucked on by Congress.
We'll just overlook that because Kamala is the future. She's going to save democracy, monkey.
Yeah, Congress completely fucked him on that one, and he should have insisted on a bill securing the border first.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not wrong. He did the amnesty thing, but he was 100% against commies.
Yeah.
And absolutely for cutting taxes. And what did she talk about the other day? And he was even more so for cutting taxes specifically for the rich. Where Trump's was across the board, Reagan was like, we got to cut the top because then they'll spend. It's called trickle-down economics or voodoo economics if you're George Herbert Walker Bush. George Herbert Walker was the first one, right? And then George Walker was second. Okay. I get them confused because just name him Junior next time, asshole. Why'd you? No, I'm going to take away one of the middle names because it's confusing. Fucking weirdos from Connecticut. I don't care about that guy. Dude came over to tell me he wasn't offended at something, and he was replying because I insulted someone else. Like, really?
I'm not offended, but this is gross.
All right, this is probably what we're going to wrap up on, and it's annoying to me. Art M here, gamer from Mars. I don't know if you know who he is.
Nope.
He does a lot of, I guess I'd call them YouTube mini documentaries.
Oh, okay.
But not in the artsy way that you see with like the Boogie documentary. It's more of just internet history, him talking about what happened and giving you timelines and stuff.
Yeah.
Over a decade ago, Anita Sarkeesian became the most despised woman on the internet with the rise of her YouTube show Feminist Frequency. But was the hate justified? The truth is complicated. So after countless hours of research, I made a 90-minute video detailing my findings. I hated this video so much, I asked him in the comments if he's grown a vagina. True story, look it up. Yes, one, the hate is absolutely justified. But the pussy ass way that he defends this woman without just defending her, without just coming out and saying everybody should be nicer to Anita because you got, for instance, at one point, he's talking about how Thunderfoot, I don't know why you're referencing that asshole, and Amazing Atheist were responding to Anita, and they were attacking her for the same, when she was saying the same thing they were. And then he plays clips and they're not even close to the same.
I'm shocked.
Specifically, they were talking about tropes. And in this case, the trope of the damsel in distress. An Amazing Atheist said, you know, people probably use that trope because it's easy. It's pretty easy one that most people recognize, and you don't got to get all complicated and shit with it. And Anita says they might not be doing it on purpose, but it's still like really sexist. And in Gamer from Mars's opinion, those are the same statements.
What?
Yeah. That's when I stopped. I stopped mid-video and asked him if he'd grown a vagina. Actually, I said, I'm assuming you grew a vagina. I don't want to misquote myself here. And as I was watching it, honestly, I was just like, did this guy get married recently? Because we see that a lot with people. Usually he does a decent job if an abridged version of internet history. But in this one, I mean, he went out of his way to make her seem like she was just misunderstood, or people took her out of context, or okay, she might have been a little wrong here, but was it really that big of a deal? This woman went before the United fucking Nations, to talk about how horrible it is that people dared question her online.
I get cyberbullied because I have stupid opinions. I mean, because I'm a vagina bearer.
Watch her in that thing, because she's talking. She even says, it's not just threats and stuff that are harassment. It's people who make videos about your work. Get fucked, okay? This woman, you guys might not realize how much power she actually had, especially in the gaming industry where I like to play. This bitch is the reason that we have to have fat, ugly, manly women as the protagonist of all of our fucking games. You know, you got to have a woman in there. Why? Well, because Anita couldn't see Batman's ass. She's a horrible person. She is directly responsible for a ton of horrible shit in society right now. And you might think that that's an overstatement. Look it up. Intel gave her money. I don't know if Intel did, but lots of gaming companies did. Tons of them did. They invited her. They would invite her to their offices to talk about how sexist they are.
Oh, whip me harder, mommy. Ugh, gross.
Anita Sarkeesian is a liar. He points to her being a gamer since she was 5, Jack.
Oh.
And he supports this with her statements, partially. And one picture of her playing Nintendo on Christmas when her family got them a Nintendo. It's not until an hour into the video where he brings up the clip where she says, I'm not really a gamer. I don't really play games. Which to me seems far more relevant when she specifically did this because she thought she could make money off of it, which she did.
Yep.
Nothing about games, went into it with the idea that they were sexist, and then made them fit that nonsense, including, I'm not making this up, being upset that she couldn't see Batman's ass. I know I bring that up a lot, but that was part of her fucking argument about why video games were sexist. Because this chick here, who's not wearing a cape, you can see her butt. But I played Arkham Asylum, and I tried rotating the camera, and I couldn't see Batman's butt.
Well, when your target demographic is mostly young men.
Did you try any of the other games where you're in third person and the person's not wearing a fucking cape, retard?
Look, those do not meet her qualifications for being sexist, so they must be ignored. Real quickly, though, thank you, Evolved Potato. Anita literally committed fraud. She took money to do videos she never did. She should have been investigated in jail, not to mention her effects on the culture of gaming. She's a criminal. Well, she's more of a what they now use the term grifter for.
Hopefully she's broke by now. Probably not. This woman made a mint. Her company went under, but that doesn't mean she didn't make a lot of money off of it. There's a difference
she's
between
smart. She banked a lot of that.
There's a difference between company money and my money.
Yeah.
She said you have to focus your attention on specific things. Her whole argument was just nonsensical. Like I said, she came to it because she thought this was an audience she could exploit, and she did. When it comes to marketing and everything, she did very well. Because the entirety of the media went, "Oh my God, did you know they're mean to girls in gaming?"
They did a whole SVU episode around it.
Oh, Gamer from Mars tells us she hated that episode because she was like, WTF, why would they do this?
Yeah, right.
She didn't like it because she didn't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dangerous. So is he supporting Kamala because he's a fan of balls flying at people's faces? I believe they also call it voodoo economics in Haiti. Also 99% on Rotten Tomato with over 500 reviews for Matt's film. It's going to be a very biased audience on that. Just saying. I doubt many liberals are going out there and giving Matt money for that to give their opinion on it. Again, I'll probably enjoy the movie. Fuck, I'm gonna watch it just for the Robin DiAngelo giving a black man being shamed into giving a black man $30 because that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, she shut down all her social media accounts.
Yes, she did.
Because she was so embarrassed by it.
After I watched this video, I went over and watched another one of his that was in the recommended. The victims of anti-SJWs.
Wow.
It went over a lot of people who got famous for, going viral, including people like Trigglypuff and the chick who screamed at Donald Trump's inauguration. It went over the humongous chick. I forget her name. Zarna something or other.
Yeah, she had a really weird name.
Yeah, but again, it wasn't as flattering as I found this Anita Sarkeesian piece to be. But there were still several times where he got shit wrong to make them look better and make them seem like victims.
Of course.
At one point, we'll get to it in a sec. Tyrite, thank you. I am a woman gamer since I was 4 or 5. My parents had a Radio Shack 3-in-1 game system with Pong, and they had a cowboy gun attached with a phone cord. Also, we had an Intellivision. Loved the game Snafu. Yeah, there's tons of women gamers, but they only listen to the fucking whiny ones. Zarna Joshi, that's her name. Thank you. This one woman, I forget which one it is. It's the one with who you'll see her, and it says it says triggered with her picture, and she's bugging her eyes out really big.
Oh yeah. Is that Big Red?
No, he goes over Big Red too.
Oh, okay.
But he says that all she was doing was interjecting with facts, because what she said is 1 in 3 women are raped in the United States. And he goes, and that's true. That comes directly from the CDC. And immediately I knew what that was. The one person that I know of that ever left the internet because of me, stopped making videos and shut down their channel, repeated that nonsense. And I called him out for it. What the thing says is 1 in 3 women in the United States are raped, sexually harassed, or stalked by an intimate partner. There is a wide range between raped and stalked.
A little bit. A little bit.
There's a huge difference between raped and sexually harassed. But this
Are
was
you
something
sure?
this was something that went around the leftist SJW sites. Like 1 in 3 women are raped. That's not what the statistic says. It's not even close. 1 in 3 would make us the most dangerous country in the entire fucking world for women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to remind you that the migrant caravans coming up from South America, about 1 in 3 get raped. That's actual rape. They're not being stalked on their way up here. But this is what this fucking asshole said. He repeated her line and called it true. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I really do. I'm guessing that he's been married sometime recently or found a new girlfriend, and he's slowly being DeFranco'd. Because goddamn, dude.
Yeah, my
The left
sister's
getting-
taking her kitten to get DeFranco'd soon.
The left getting statistics wrong, saying, "Hey, so, that is one of the ones that I hate more than anything, because it is such a useless statistic when you threw that in there. When you throw all of that shit, that's like saying 1 in 3 women get raped, have eaten eggs, or one time had chocolate cereal with marshmallows in it.
I mean, if you get some cheap cereal, it could feel like you were mouth raped.
1 in 3 are stabbed or high-fived at some point in their life. Exactly, Frosted. It's nonsensical. But
Well, that's the point, though, isn't it?
She was just telling the truth. No, she wasn't. She was being a dumbass SJW. He also really seems to have a problem with This is when all the anti-SJW stuff blew up.
Oh, those monsters.
You're a pussy, dude. Art, you've turned into a giant pussy, and it's sad to see. It really is. Stick to internet drama and try to stay away from actual politics, because you're a fucking retard, dude. Anyway, with that, I'm going to go lay down, Jack, or try to.
I see how you are.
Told my wife yesterday I was going to try to lay down. And so she started giving me instructions on how to lay down. I was like, fuck off.
I'm going to get it right one of these times.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations and for coming back. It's been a long time, and sorry. I also didn't tweet this one out. I don't know how much I'm tweeting out the shows anymore, Jack.
Oh, yeah?
It hurts me on Twitter to do so.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have to find a way around that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I need people to tweet it so that I can retweet it. That way I'm actually retweeting Twitter. Maybe I'll enlist my cousin.
Yeah. You might want to get like an announcement account or something.
Yeah, I could do that. But if you don't see it on Twitter, it's not that I forgot. Today was actually on purpose because I'm testing something.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Tyrai. Picked up a copy of Craven's Last Hunt. I love Mike Zeck's work, but that story is weird. It's a very weird story, but it is a great Spider-Man story.
Thank you, Dangerous. 1 in 3 would make the U.S. more dangerous than war zones that use rape as a weapon. And I bet that raped, assaulted, stalked statistic is also inflated. No, again, it's not assaulted. It's raped, harassed, and stalked. That's a big difference. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to a cool video. As always, thank you guys so much for all the donations. You guys are very generous, and we do appreciate it, especially because we've been off for like a week, and we're poor. But you guys are the best audience on the internet. Stay sexy.
All right, guys. Don't let the CIA trick you into trying to shoot Donald Trump. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, take care of yourselves. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Song.